Greetings from Nilayam, the spiritual capital of the universe. Dear listeners, welcome to a series of reflections on close encounters of the divine kind. In this segment, we bring you excerpts of the experiences that former students of Bhagwan Baba relive and draw upon as their signposts in life, years and decades after graduating from his schools, colleges and university. It is a recall of God moments etched in students' hearts for eternity. Mr. Madhusudhan Naidu is an alumnus of the Sri Satyasai University. A postgraduate in chemistry, he also obtained a master's in business administration from Nilayam. A brilliant student, he has several gold medals to his credit, a good speaker and a talented artist. He has been a member of the Institute Band. Currently, Madhusudan works in the position of a relationship manager, HDFC Bank in Bangalore. After completing his education at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satyasai Baba, Madhusudan was keen to know how he could, if ever he could, reciprocate the love his divine chancellor had showered upon him in abundance. In response to his prayers, Bhagwan gave him 4 simple words to live by, 4 words that spell a wholesome and harmonious way of life. We now present a reflection of what it means to live in the sunshine of Sai's love from Mr. Madhusudhan Naidu.
My voyage from the shores of humanity to the shrine of the divine is the most treasured part of my life. I was then a student and now a Sai student. I'm sure that my tale of transformation would not be very different from that of the others at his feet.
If the journey to becoming a Sai student was eventful and the test of faith that came with it was way harder than any academic exams Madhusudan had ever faced, now he tells us why.
It was one of those pleasant afternoons when Bhagwan was seated in the portico in front of the parched millions who thirst for a mere glance, a mere word, a mere smile, or just a mere sight of his countenance. But it made a difference to my life and the lives of many who were close enough to follow and gather with eager hands the pearls of wisdom that were showered by Bhagwan. "Will you do anything that I'll ask of you?" demanded the Lord. "Yes, I will," pat came the reply. "Anything you mean?" "Yes, anything that you command." "Well, then eat 2 fishes tomorrow and come," ordered the Lord. I was speechless. "Will you do that? Tell me now." Bhagwan insisted on an answer while that familiar mischievous smile played on his lips. I was thinking while all the eyes, human and divine, were riveted to my face, waiting for a reply. I thought, if I say, "Yes, I will do," with the courage, if not the faith, of a Kaka Sahib Dikshit, an ardent devotee of Shirdi Sai Baba, the Lord might scold me for not having followed his teachings. On the other hand, if I say, "I won't," I might be reprimanded for lack of faith in the Lord's command. I was in a fix. A few moments passed. My heart skipped a few beats, even as I was evaluating the pros and cons of the decision I was going to make. There was pin-drop silence, to be broken only by the divine reproach. "Chi, నీకు నమ్మకమే లేదు. స్వామి అట్లాంటివి ఎప్పుడైనా చెప్పుతాడా? స్వామి అట్లాంటిది ఎప్పుడు చెప్పడు" అని గట్టిగా జవాబు చెప్పాలి. Meaning, you do not have faith. Will Swami ever ask you to do such things? You must reply with firm faith that Swami will never ask such things of anyone. Those were the words that struck me like a thunderbolt. only to make an indelible impression on my heart. Yes, Swami asks us to do what is good for us. The pill might be bitter, the decoction might be sour, and the treatment might be agonizing. Yet that would be the only good thing that can happen to us when He commands. Academic education was over at the divine feet. It was time to pray for further guidance. My heart searched for every opportunity to present its plight and beseech His grace. Finally, I succeeded when He chose to stop by me while gliding during the darshan, and I poured out, "You have done so much for me. Tell me now, what shall I do for you?" Pat came Bhagwan's reply, "Be good, be happy." He summed up the entire essence of all the scriptures in 4 simple words. I'm yet to comprehend, was it a command or a blessing? Does it not surprise when all He asks of us in return for all that He does for us is to be good and happy? Well, if that is not God, then what else is? However, when He asks us to do something, do we ever pause for a moment and think for a while as to who actually is doing it? Let me explain.
Once Bhagwan takes a student in His fold, He grants them generous doses of grace and success. However, never for a moment can one forget that He alone is the source of all accolades and accomplishments. Madhusudan explains this state of chauffeur-driven success, where God is the real driver behind the wheels, while man, in his ignorance, thinks he is in charge.
Have you ever seen a father driving a vehicle with an excited tiny tot on his lap? Well, if you have done so, then it makes my task much easier. The child who has its little hands on the steering wheel, in all its innocence, assumes and gets excited that it is able to steer the car, little aware of the greater truth that the father is holding its puny palms. The father, who is all aware, pretends that the child is actually able to steer the car and even mentions a word or two of appreciation to the onlookers. Many a time we are blissfully ignorant of the greater force that works through us, without which we will be reduced to a mere bag of bones and flesh. In such moments of ignorance, the words of the Lord become the guiding star and show us the way. "What grade did you get in the exams?" enquired the Chancellor. With a twinkle in my eyes, I raised myself to reach him and reply, "Swami, O grade, outstanding." I know, sir," said the Lord with a smile. "Swami, it is your grace," I submitted. "Yes, grace tone grade vachinde. Yes, you have got the grade due to grace," revealed the Lord. And He walked away, leaving me behind, wondering at the simplicity of His magnificent truths. How often do we actually realize, in the true sense of the term, that we are all puppets with our destinies tied to the fingers of the great Sutradhari, the divine puppeteer that Bhagwan is? The applause that we gather greedily after every performance is because of His grace and not our greatness.
Bhagwan gave Madhusudan a lesson in acceptance of God's will as His goodwill towards us. This wisdom was granted to him through verbal and experiential learning.
Ultimately, whatever He asks us to do, or rather does through us, whatever happens to us, or rather whatever He chooses should happen, is good for us. Whatever happens is for your good. This was the 5th time I heard him say during the interview that he granted to our family. After he left our hearts overflowing with his loving words and souls spellbound by his silken smiles, he beckoned us yet again for a family photograph, rather a complete family photograph. I rushed with my little camera to capture that timeless moment, when to my ill fate, I realized that the flash had failed. Well, I tried again and again, but all in vain. The Lord willingly waited with the other family members to be captured on that thin film of silver. However, the heartless camera that had worked perfectly well till then refused to oblige. My younger brother, who was sitting at the feet of the Lord, posing for the photo, chose to try his luck too. But the careless camera would not work. The fear of losing this opportunity gripped my being, and it did not go unnoticed by the Lord. Swami, who was a silent witness to this wreck, took pity on my plight. Ayyo papam, so sorry. He commanded me to beckon the boy with the camera sitting outside the interview room. I carried out the command, and there we were having a group photo that now included me too. After this brief photo session, Swami said, "See, your camera did not work. Even that was for your own good. Now all of you could be together in the photograph. So you see, whatever happens is for your good." Needless to say, the point was driven straight home. Swami bless us that whatever might happen, we should always have faith in you, prayed my younger brother. The Almighty replied, "Yes, you must have firm faith. However, clouds of doubts will come, which is but natural. Still, you must persist. Wait for the winds to blow them away, and you shall see the sun again. The sun is always there. It is only that the clouds hamper your vision. Doubts are but passing clouds, and they bring the testing times along. Only if you pass the test will they promote you to the higher standard. Is it not so? Test is his taste. He never promises us faith or devotion or love or peace. All he promises are tests. And of course, the grace which can promote us to the next standard, provided we put in sincere efforts. There is no end to this saga of Sai's love, for the story began at the commencement of creation and is destined to go on till the end of eternity. All I feel when I walk down memory lane is that there is so much being given unasked. Let us rush to our homes and get back with the biggest container, lest we should miss the downpour.
For Madhusudan, the debt of gratitude to Bhagwan Baba can never be repaid. The enormity and purity of Bhagwan's commitment to the well-being of his students is beyond the scope of human comprehension.
In all these years that have gone by, many times I have wondered as to what can one possibly give back to the sun as a token of gratitude for all the light that he brings to our dark homes, even as he burns himself out. Perhaps nothing at all. However, the least we could do is to keep our doors wide open and not let his efforts go in vain. What can I possibly gift on the birthday of the one beyond time? As someone has appositely said, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you become is your gift to God. So I am here to offer myself and pray that I remain moist as clay for Him to mould and play. And when I grow hard and dry, won't bend how much you try. Let me have the heart to cry with the tears of joy or pain, that He shall ordain and I be wet again. For Him to play and cheer, not just on this day, but the whole year.
Dear listeners, you just heard a reflection by Mr. Madhusudhan Naidu, an alumnus of the Sri Sathya Sai University, describing some of his cherished experiences with Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. We hope you enjoyed this journey down memory lane.